Cecilia.
Well, George, we expect to hear from President Biden in just a few minutes, actually. We just heard from the White House at 8:30. And look, this is a major win for this White House. This is a major win for the country to get Brittany Griner home, the WNBA star who has been in prison in Russia. She has been held there in captive for over 9 months now. Just recently, President Biden had said that there had been regular talks between the U.S. and Moscow. He's been talking to her wife as well, and there have been constant communication, but this is a negotiation that has happened at the highest levels of both governments at a time when tensions are at their most high between these two. Huge deal. It is breaking right now, and we expect to hear more from President Biden later this morning around 8:30. He'll be speaking here at the White House. A big scramble to get everyone here this morning. This was not on the agenda. It happened very early, and again, we expect to hear from him shortly.
Okay, Cecilia, thanks very much. Pierre Thomas, let me bring you in. What more can you tell us about Victor Bout? And the president has spoken with Brittany.
Yes, exactly. And I'm thinking back to this summer. We have heard, frankly, very little publicly from Brittany Griner as she has been in captivity. Of course, we all have seen those horrifically sad images of her during those trials held behind. Midterms had ended. That perhaps Vladimir Putin would be willing to talk more seriously about a prisoner exchange. The president knew that Vladimir Putin was very closely watching the political situation here in our own country and was hoping that, in fact, now that the politics of those midterms were over, that would signal some kind of sit-down. Usually the U.S. negotiates behind closed doors on these high-level talks like this. And in this case, there was an unusual move over the summer where the administration came out publicly to say that they had really take that seriously. The U.S. implied that they didn't feel like they were getting very far in those negotiations, but even the fact that they publicly had talked about that detail these talks have been happening at.
Thank you, Cecilia. I want to go back to Martha.
George, they've been working on this at the highest levels of these governments between here in the United States and Moscow with constant talks. And as you heard the president say, not just talks between these governments. The president has been in close contact over these last 9 months with Cherelle Griner. George, we have to pause and talk about that smile on Cherelle Griner's face. What a day for this family to see Brittany Griner Putin before she left Russia, that this swap between these two prisoners, for both her and Brittany's mission going forward, that they remain committed to getting these other Americans home. But George, the headline here, the smile on her face, Brittany Griner is on her way home. What a day this is. What a coup for this administration. But most importantly, Brittany Griner is on her way home as we speak.
Cecilia Vega.